Manchester United are taking on West Ham. This is a massive game for Manchester United if we have any chance of still making that Champions League spot. I personally think that the Champions League spot is not going to happen for Manchester United. The way the team has performed under Rangnick has been nothing short of horrendous. Yes, we've only lost one game, but the games haven't been exactly difficult games for Manchester United under this geezer. And the performances, even in the previous game, we could take a bit of encouragement because 3 of the academy players that have come through the ranks got the Manchester United goals in that Brentford game, which was nice to see. And it gave Manchester United a bit of a lift after a really shit season for Manchester United. But the performance first half wasn't good enough, and overall not good enough for Manchester United. If we want to continue to progress, we've got to do better than that, because that was no disrespect against a shit opposition. This game is a level above. We know what West Ham are like. We were fortunate away at West Ham earlier in the season to come away with the 3 points. We lost to them in the League Cup. That was shocking for Manchester United. And they've got a number of players that are playing well this season, are in good form, and they are a fucking decent side. They're not probably going to make the top 4 themselves as well as Manchester United, I don't think. But they're still a threat to Manchester United in this game. A massive threat. Certainly going forward, they're scoring a lot of goals, looking threatening. And David Moyes, credit to David Moyes, he has got this team doing well. And they're probably going to get a Europa League spot again this season and still with Europa League and still be competitive up there. And to put a fight up for the top 4, they have put a fight up, is good, because being in the Europa League is a lot of games, it really is. And a lot of teams can't seem to do that Thursday, Sunday shit early in the season, so that is difficult. Now they've got a number of players. Antonio up front is a massive handful. We know what he's going to be like, and Manchester United got to be on their game. Bowen, he's been in good form for West Ham. They've got other decent players like Lanzini as well. Declan Rice, a player that a lot are talking about potentially being a Manchester United future player. He's in there in midfield, so they've got some very decent players in there. So this is going to be a hard game for Manchester United. I'm not too sure how Ralf Rangnick is going to line up for this game, but before the preview for the previous game against Brentford, I was talking about the 4-2-2-2 form, 2-2-2-2, whatever shit he was going for formation, and not knowing that Rangnick had come out and said that he's going to a 4-3-3. And that is the way to go. The 4-3-3 was played in the last game, and that is the way for me that I would like to see Manchester United line up on a more regular basis. The 4-2-2-2 just doesn't hack it for me. I just don't like it, but I thought there was going to be too many players out injured in that for that previous game for Manchester United to be able to play the 4-3-3, but I didn't realise that Rangnick had already said that, and didn't realise that some of the players that I thought may potentially have been out of that game were actually involved. Now we're still going to be without certain players for this game. Pogba's still out. He's going to be hopefully back after this break that we have next week. We've then got Lindelof's out. He's got family issues. Sancho's out. He's got family issues as well. So it's not ideal there. But there is still some better news with Cristiano Ronaldo. He was apparently rumoured to be out injured, which he's not. He's with the squad this evening. So that is good news for Manchester United. It really is, because Manchester United need Cristiano Ronaldo. Cavani is back in the squad as well, which is great news as well. I know he hasn't been in great form lately, but we can still do with him because he's an absolute handful. And even when he's not scoring goals, his work rate is second to none. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go with a similar lineup to what he went for during the week. The talk is that Harry Maguire will come back in and captain the side. So we pretty much know the back 4, because Wan-Bissaka's out injured ill as well, I've got to mention, and Luke Shaw I think is out injured. So De Gea will be in goal, so the back 4 pretty much picks itself. Varane, Maguire, Telles and Dalot. The midfield 2 are pretty much going to pick itself, I think, Fred and McTominay. Then obviously the other one in there will be Bruno Fernandes, so that in a slightly more attacking position, if you want to call it, if it's in as a 3, but obviously McTominay will probably be more as the 6 in there. Not really sure that's his best position, but he has been playing well lately, Scott has. I mean, I think he does get a lot of maybe a bit unfair criticism sometimes, but Obviously that is the fact that Manchester United are at this moment in time so shit. That doesn't help. And the fact that I personally think that Scott McTominay is a great versatile player to have in that midfield for 20-25 games a season. I don't think that he's good enough to be starting 50 to 55 games a season, which we are playing him in. I think he's a very handy player to have in the Manchester United squad, and we've had players like this in the Manchester United squad in the past. We've had the likes of John O'Shea's, the Darren Fletchers. These types of players have been in the Manchester United squad for decades. So players like that have been in around the squad, started 20 or maybe 25 games a season, and that's only maybe half the games in the Manchester United season, and they just fill in when a player's injured or something like that. And we have like a Roy Keane or a Michael Carrick or someone of that ilk in the midfield on a regular basis. And I don't think people would be that concerned if he was only a squad player, because you need squad players that love this club, and he absolutely loves this club in there to help out at times, and they are vital to winning titles. And that the squad players, they really are, because Manchester United really relied on the likes of Wes Brown and people like the John O'Shea's, where they filled in when they weren't always first choice for Manchester United, and they filled in when players were injured, and they still gave a steady 7 out of 10 performance when they were put alongside a lot of world-class players. And the likes of, and we thought that with the likes of Johnny Evans when he come into the Manchester United team, just dropped in there when he played alongside maybe a Vidic or a Ferdinand, or maybe a Chris Smalling played alongside a Vidic or a Ferdinand, and they looked like world bloody beaters, because they were in a world-class team, just deputised for 1 or 2 games. They weren't expected to perform that level for 50 games, only sort of 20 games when they were called upon, and they are vital to winning titles. And if Manchester United can get back to where he is a squad player, Manchester United would be doing very, very well. Bruno Fernandes is has done better in the last couple of games, a couple of goals and a couple of assists in terms of his output anyway. I mean, he hasn't been at his absolute best, certainly. I mean, the 2 goals he got the previous game against Villa, I didn't think he was at his best, but he still managed to get 2 goals, which is nice to see, because he hasn't been hitting the back of the net probably as much as he would have liked this season. And the forward 3, I think it's probably going to, I reckon it's probably going to stay the same, the forward 3, Ronaldo, Elanga and Greenwood. I've got a feeling it will. He could potentially bring Rashford back in the starting lineup. He did score a nice goal when he come off the bench in that game against Brentford, but I think he'll probably start on the bench, because Elanga's, he didn't have the best of games, but he did get himself a nice goal. Greenwood didn't have the best of games either, probably had a worse game than he has in some previous games, but managed to get himself a tap-in. And that is vital, because I don't think Greenwood's got enough tap-ins for Manchester United. And if he can have a few when he has a few bad games, if he gets a few tap-ins, that will take his goal tally to another level, which is what we want from Manchester United. We want him to be getting them easy goals. What Solskjaer used to say about them players, not the likes of Rashford and Greenwood and Martial and them sort of players, not getting them easy tap-ins. And it was really, I was more happy seeing him score that goal than I have done when he's hit one from 30 yards and it's flew in the top corner, because they're the goals that really do make you as a world-class forward. Them tap-ins taking your goal tally to the extra level, because you're not going to score a worldie every week. You're not going to score a scissor kick like he did against Young Boys every week, not bang one in from miles out like he did against Leicester a while back. You're not going to get them goals every single game, but you could really up your goal tally a lot with getting them tap-ins, them Cristiano Ronaldo type goals, getting in that 6-yard box and tapping in to get your goal tally from 10-15 a season to 25 to 30 goals a season. But I think that's going to be roughly the team anyway. I mean, it probably is good enough to beat West Ham at home, but it's going to be a very, very difficult game for Manchester United. And if we play as bad as we did against Brentford in that first half, then Manchester United are not winning this game at all. We're really not, because poor finishing and some good goalkeeping cost Brentford in that first half against Manchester United. And if you don't take your chances in this Premier League, you will come unstuck. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be too difficult for Manchester United to win this game, the way we're playing and the poor form that we're in. I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go for 2-2 actually in this game. I'll put my neck on the line saying Manchester United scored 2 goals in this game. We haven't been free flow scoring under Ranić, but the last couple of games we've got more goals. We've got 5 goals in our last 2 games, which I don't think we've got 5 in our last 5 games under Ranić before that. So it was quite crazy to think we actually did. Hopefully the goals can continue to flow, because if the goals can continue to flow, hope we're not letting maybe as many goals in as we were under Solskjaer, so hopefully we can start picking up a lot more wins if we do start putting the chances away. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you're watching this on Facebook, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See you.